we're still celebrating Workers' Day on Rubbin Minds. Everybody's talking about 2023 because the next president is really important. The kind of presidents that we get in 2023, it will determine our future, from infrastructure to the economy, even down to making sure that we reduce the number of unemployed people, making sure that Nigeria is no longer the poverty capital of the world. Everything just really rests on the shoulders of who becomes the president in 2023, and of course other elected officials, because only the president cannot do the job alone. So today we'll be discussing what kind of presidents Nigerians want. Joining me from our Abuja studios is Miriam Laushi, a good governance advocate. Hello, Miriam.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight. It's very self-explanatory. What kind of president do you think Nigerians deserve come 2023?
Well, I think the most important thing for the kind of president that we want in 2023 is a visionary leader. As we all know, Nigerians are living in a period when there are so many things that are uncertain right now, and you really need somebody who is very ready to take Nigeria to the future and prepare Nigeria to face any future challenges and deal with all the problems that are currently existing. So as opposed to someone who is going to be firefighting, dealing with security, that person instead is supposed to pretty much think of a future where there is no insecurity and what that looks like as we go forward, and being preventive. So for me, I think I want to speak for most Nigerians to say we want that kind of person who will be prepared for anything that comes and be preventive in his or her approach when it comes to governing this country. Apart from that, I think there are certain things that we all hope for. We hope for someone with integrity, but of course, like, that matters and it's not just with the president that matters. We have the legislative arm of government, and we also have the judiciary, and it's really important that with all of those arms of government, we have people who have integrity down to the local level. So pretty much those are the things that we're looking for: someone who's ready to make our economy better and to just make the country work for everyone.
Okay, Miriam, what would you say that president should prioritize? Because we have so many issues: insecurity, poverty. What is that one thing that, you know what, as a president, this is the one thing that he or she should tackle first?
Well, there is nothing you can have in a country that's more important than security. Even if there are jobs, if you cannot get to your job safely, then it's not worth it. So the most important thing for anyone who's looking to be the president of Nigeria is to make sure that every one of us and our properties are safe and secure. No more of killings, no more of attacks on trains and on roads and all of that. If that is tackled, I think, honestly, Nigeria will be so much better for it when we stop losing lives in such violent ways.
Okay, so now let's talk specifics. There are a couple of parties, a number of political parties in Nigeria, and of course, constitutionally, everybody has a right to contest, but we know that over the years we've run sort of a two-party system, you know, the APC and the PDP. Recently on Twitter, one of the big conversations people have been having is the fact that the nomination forms for these parties are pretty much expensive, and it sort of raises questions as to how do you spend so much money getting into power, and how are we sure that you're not going to embezzle funds after spending so much money? So I don't know, what do you think we can do to sort of align things so it's clearer to the common man?
So the prices are definitely really high for I think, like, democratically speaking, I don't know if it's a realistic price for an average Nigerian who may have leadership qualities to be able to make that kind of payment. In other democracies that we look up to, like in the US, we can see how they manage campaign funding. So you do have campaign funding, but it's capped based on like who is donating and all of that. And it's pretty important also to figure out if someone is bringing 100 million naira in this economy, then where is the money coming from? So those are all questions that should be asked, and it should be regulated, perhaps through a body like INEC, making sure that whenever funds are coming through, they know the source, and if someone is donating, there is a cap on it, and how campaign funds are generated and spent. All of that should be regulated. And also, it really comes down to our legislative arm of government again, as well as whoever will be president, to pretty much agree to sign such a rule. If the legislative arm of government can create a law around that to perhaps make sure that there is a certain amount that a political party cannot pass when it comes to selling nomination forms or interest forms, that is something that they should be focused on to ensure that the process is even more democratic and not now about who has 100 million naira or 50 million naira.
Okay. There's so many people that have declared. So many viable candidates have declared for the presidency. What are your thoughts on zoning in these individual parties? What are your thoughts on zoning?
So zoning is an interesting thing in Nigeria. The unfortunate truth is that there are a lot of Nigerian citizens who still vote based on where the person is from or what their religion is. And unfortunately, because that still steers how our political system works and we're not really issue-based yet, you tend to find that this is pretty much the only way you can make sure things go around, though there are other arguments against zoning. The more important thing really is getting a quality person, and I believe that in every zone in Nigeria you can get a quality person. When it comes to whatever the person's tribe or religion is, you can get a quality person who will lead. Parties need to focus more on getting a quality person as opposed to what zone the person is from. Ideally, we will get to a future where people don't really focus on those things, and in that case, zoning may no longer be necessary in a place like Nigeria, but when you have a lot of people focused on what the person's tribe is and so on and so forth, or even feelings of being neglected from the political space like we have in the Southeast. A lot of people from the Southeast definitely share notions about being excluded from leading the country and stuff like that. And so those issues need to be addressed, and maybe zoning is not the solution. Maybe it's finding a way to bring people together in a better way and to get everyone's input when it comes to the way we govern this country. And again, democracy is the way in that sense. And just having also a leader, just like you asked about the kind of president we want going forward in 2023, it will be really good to see a leader who is able to bring everyone's needs and concerns at the forefront of the conversation when it comes to governance. And then perhaps when all of those things are done, maybe zoning may not be so much of a thing in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so very much for joining us, and your thoughts are quite valid, and thank you for sharing them with us, Miriam.
Thanks so much for having me.
Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show